Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, a petition going around the state is looking to require an ID to vote. Plus,
we are in a drought situation in Nebraska. Even though we've had some precipitation in the last few days, that drought continues.
The drought causing cattlemen to make tough decisions.
good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. But first this evening, people are raising a large amount of money today in central Nebraska.
Today is the 9th annual Go Big Give. Here's a live look at the total amount donated today. Everything raised will go to a record 151 nonprofit organizations in Hall, Hamilton, Howard, and Merrick counties. Last year's amount was an astounding $1.3 million.
And this year, the money will be extra appreciated, with some organizations helping people who were affected by the recent wildfires out there. If you would like to give, there's still time. Just go to gobiggive.org and click the Donate Now button.
Even with some recent precipitation, Nebraska remains in a drought,
causing cattlemen to make some very tough choices with their herds. Channel 8's Ariana Martinez joins us now to explain what's going on. Ariana?
We not only are going through a drought here in Nebraska, but many states who raise cattle are as well. In our case, the drought also brought historic wildfires, and feed for cattle has not been plentiful. The Nebraska Cattlemen's Association is holding a webinar tonight talking about liquidating your herd, as there are not many options for farmers this season.
Liquidation happens when you just don't have the feed for them. As cattle people, our number one priority is taking care of those cattle, making sure their nutrition is good. Our number two priority is taking care of the land. And so it can't suffer a lot of overgrazing during a drought and then bounce back and be resilient like we need it to be.
The only other option would be to move your herd out of state, but gas and diesel prices are currently so high. You could also move the cows off the grazing land and into a feeding lot situation, giving them grain, but grain prices are also very high right now. Tonight on the news at 6, I talk about the market for ground beef and how those prices are able to maintain at a good level, as well as what cuts of beef may be harder to find in the future. All
right, so very important things for a lot of people in this state. Ariana Martinez, thank you so much. Talk to you at 6 o'clock. The former fire chief who lost his life battling the Road 702 fire earlier last month was honored today.
The United States honor flag made its way to Cambridge today to honor Chief John Trumbull. Trumbull tragically lost his life while fire spotting the Road 702 fire. His funeral was last week. The honor flag is presented to fallen military, police, and firefighters nationwide. And the gloves used to handle the flag are given to the fallen responders' family as a special memento. Rain and snowfall this week is improving drought conditions across the state.
The drought monitor out of UNL for May 3rd shows improvements statewide. The data shows rain is putting a dent in the dry soil and giving relief to firefighters. The Nebraska State Climate Office says they're hopeful more rain will fall in the coming days. And let's get the latest on that. Here's Chief Meteorologist John Dishauer with your first forecast. John?
Yeah, we were seeing some declines in the in drought status across the region. I was looking up just now. Moderate drought status is down 3% from what it was a week ago. Severe drought down 18% from last week, and extreme drought down 46% in coverage over the state. So that's some good news. Hey, around here this evening, we're doing what we can to combat drought status out there. We've got some showers passing through. Here's a live look right now from the station to the north and west. And you can see we've got cloudy skies and we've got wet roads outside right now. We've got showers also moving from southeast to northwest around the region. Missing Lincoln right now, but we do have some showers as you head out across Saline County as well as portions of Seward County, where we're seeing some of the showers. A couple showers just to the north and west of Crete, and also a couple showers that have just moved through the Seward area, also up towards Staplehurst. We've picked up almost 1/4 inch of rain officially at the airport in Lincoln today, 1,200 down towards Beatrice, and 1/3 inch in Hebron. Temperature-wise, we just haven't moved much again today. The morning low is 49. We hit a high of 54, and we're sitting at 53 right now in Lincoln. For the rest of this evening, we'll hold on to steady temperatures, 53 to 54, down to 52 by 10, with still a chance for some showers around. We'll talk about when the rain cuts off and what you can expect heading into the weekend. That's coming up in my Storm Alert Team forecast.
All right, John, talk to you later. Also coming up, if you can believe it, the primary election. It's next Tuesday. Let's get you updated on what's going on.
Yeah, quite a few Democrats have been switching to the Republican Party to have an effect on the election. In a statement by Nebraska Democratic Chair Jane Klebb, she says in part, some Democrats temporarily have left the party in hopes to stop the worst of the radical Republicans running for governor. We are confident they will be back as Democrats the day after the primary. End quote. We did speak to a member of the Husker Vote Coalition who echoes Klebb.
There are some candidates who have wildly different views from other people, some candidates that are more moderate. And, you know, I think some people are choosing to change their party affiliation to choose for a more moderate candidate.
In the last couple of months, nearly 10,000 Nebraskans have switched party affiliation, likely again to vote in the May 10th Republican primary. And although the trend is becoming popular, Bartling does not know anyone who has switched political affiliation. Former President Donald Trump is holding a rally tonight via telephone.
Gubernatorial candidate Charles Herbster will also be in attendance for that. The rally is slated for 6 o'clock tonight, so in about 55 minutes. If you would like to tune in, you can call the number you see there on your screen, 308-210-7274. We're going to listen live to a portion of the rally coming up tonight on the newscast at 6 o'clock. 5 candidates for governor, including Jim Pillen via Zoom, took questions today in Omaha.
It was at the Nebraska Bankers Association conference, and we'll have more on that as well at 6 o'clock. Right now, though, a petition is going around that is aimed at getting rid of voter fraud in Nebraska.
If passed, the constitutional amendment would require people to show an ID before voting. Signatures from 10% of registered voters are required to get it in front of the legislature. Today, those against the change spoke about how this could take away the rights of voters.
This, and always will be, an attempt to either maintain power and influence, both politically and economically, or stop the shift from the power.
And Preston also says there is no evidence that voter fraud is a serious issue in the state. Again, Nebraska's primary election coming up next Tuesday, May 10th. In other news tonight, Lincoln police are reminding all of us to make sure the items in our cars are secured.
That's right. Yesterday, Lincoln police responded to 4 vehicle thefts. In each case, the owner left the car's windows or doors open. LPD says as the weather gets nicer, thieves will be out and about more often. They want to remind everyone to lock your vehicles and keep the windows closed and never leave valuables or keys in your car. Tonight, a sad update. A Sutton teen has died after getting shot in a hunting accident this weekend.
The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office says 17-year-old Caleb Laidhoff of Sutton died Tuesday at Bryan LGH here in Lincoln. The teen was shot while hunting with some friends in southern Hamilton County on Sunday. The Sheriff's Office is working with the Nebraska State Patrol, and they say the investigation is ongoing. Turning to national news now, Amber Heard was back on the stand.
Heard was defending herself today, saying her ex-husband's drinking and drug use led to the abuse. ABC's Morgan Norwood has more.
Actress Amber Heard back on the stand Thursday, testifying in her defamation battle against her ex-husband Johnny Depp. Heard telling jurors that Depp surrounded himself with an entourage of enablers to shield him from the consequences of his drug and alcohol use, alleging that the abuse she suffered at the hands of Depp was often when he was under the influence.
He would pass out and, get sick and lose control of himself, and then people would pick him up and clean him up and fix it.
Depp has previously testified that he never hit Heard. Heard has also told jurors that the alleged abuse started when she asked Depp about his infamous Wino Forever tattoo, which had to do with ex-Winona writer. Heard claiming Depp struck her 3 times.
Slapped me across the face. I just sat there thinking, how much time do I have till I figure out what I need to do? Because, God, did he just hit me?
Millions have been following every moment of the trial online, and some are even making the trip to this Virginia courthouse to watch the stars battle it out in court. It's over a 2018 Washington Post op-ed in which Heard labeled herself as a public figure representing domestic abuse. Now, Johnny Depp was not named in the article, but he's suing for $50 million, claiming his career suffered and that he never abused Amber Heard. Heard is countersuing for $100 million, claiming that Depp was abusive, Again, allegations he denies.
Now we hear from Amber Heard on the witness stand, who says not only was she a victim of domestic abuse, but she was a victim multiple times. Remember, as a legal matter, if these jurors believe one instance of domestic abuse, then I don't see how he possibly wins the case. So it's a critical moment.
And Heard also accuses Depp of controlling behavior, which she says affected her career choices. Now, this case is set to take a pause next week, but will pick up again the following week. I'm Morgan Norwood, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Now to Ukraine, where firefighters are battling a blaze near Chernobyl.
A fire that broke inside the exclusion zone near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant was extinguished. Surrounding areas were not threatened. Explosive devices, though, left by Russian forces were a problem for the firefighters as they were battling the blaze. Meanwhile, the steel plant holding thousands of Ukrainians has been breached.
It's located in Mariupol, which remains under siege from Russian forces. Isabel Rosales has the story.
In Mariupol's last line of defense, unrelenting Russian attacks. Fierce, bloody combat is how one Ukrainian commander is describing it. The bombardment on the Azovstal steel plant happening from land, sea, and air.
Russia is showing absolutely no respect whatsoever to their lives.
Still bracing in an underground bunker are hundreds of civilians. This video capturing the moment Ukrainian soldiers alongside them sing a Ukrainian patriotic anthem. A Ukrainian commander says Russia broke its pledge to allow a new round of evacuation corridors with its non-stop attacks.
Yet again, the Russians have broken their promise of truce and have made it impossible to evacuate civilians.
Holding the line. In the east, in the Luhansk and Donetsk regions, Ukrainian officials say Russia has had no success in breaking through the front lines. Take a look. A Russian missile strike caught on camera as it hits a bridge in central Ukraine. To the east, apartment buildings torn apart by another Russian missile strike. At least 25 civilians are hurt. And across the Atlantic, the White House is pushing back against a New York Times story claiming U.S. intelligence is helping Ukraine kill Russian officials. A National Security Council spokesperson denying that premise and calling the report misleading and irresponsible. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
And coming up next on the news, John's storm alert forecast, and also he has more on the rain and your Mother's Day forecast.
Plus, if abortion is banned nationwide, it may be harder to enforce than previously thought. We'll take a look. Stay with us.
DQ is taking your taste buds
Severe storms crashed through parts of the southern United States last night.
Take a look at this marijuana farm near Maud, Oklahoma, absolutely swept away. The storms caused widespread damage across the state. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt surveying the damage today in nearby Seminole. He says he's grateful no lives were lost.
You know, we're so fortunate there were no loss of lives or really no significant injuries that we know of at this point. So that's always, we're so thankful for that.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist John Dessauer.
Cloudy skies today and showers throughout. Not an all-day washout by any means, but we've had periods of rain, and then we get some dry periods, and then we have a little bit of drizzle out there in between. Right now, live look from Beatrice showing you wet roads down along South 6th Street and Perkins Street here as the crossroad, and cloudy skies for you. 100% cloudy sky today in Lincoln, and roads are wet. You can see lower visibilities as the clouds are a little bit lower as we look at the state capitol. Normally it's easy to see that, but the top of the state capitol now being obscured by some of the cloud cover as it's beginning to lower to the ground. Showers around the area, they're moving from southwest to northeast as we're on the north side of an area of low pressure. Think of low pressure with the counterclockwise. So with the showers moving the direction they're moving, that means we're on the northeast to north side of that. We'll zoom in a little bit closer and show you where there's probably a couple pockets of some moderate showers going on just to the south of Crete, down towards the Smithfield plant, seeing probably some of the moderate showers, and these are all drifting off to the north and west, and even up towards Saltillo, we've got a couple of moderate showers that are falling. We'll keep a chance for rain in the forecast, I think probably through about midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning. After that, the rain starts to shut off. We'll likely see clouds begin to lower to the ground. We may see some fog developing, as well as just some low clouds in general. Today, we've picked up almost 1/4 inch of rain in Lincoln, over 1/10 inch in Beatrice. The winter so far today, at least airport-wise, coming in from Hebron, where you've picked up 1/3 inch of rain since midnight. It is also cool. Temperatures just not moving much at all. It's only 53 degrees in Lincoln. That's after a high again today of 54 degrees. Morning low is 49, so only a 4-degree spread in temperatures, or make that a 5-degree spread in temperatures. It's 53 right now in Beatrice and 52 degrees in York. Now temperatures as we go through the rest of the evening and into the nighttime, holding pretty steady. I think we see our lows eventually dipping down into the mid-40s to upper 40s. So a relatively mild start to tomorrow morning, not terribly cool by any means. Now again, we may see some fog in the morning. I'm going to skip it ahead to 11 o'clock, and so we're seeing a lot of clouds, either fog or just low clouds, reducing visibility maybe down to a mile or two. It's going to take a while to burn off. I think as we head towards late afternoon, we'll see skies become mostly sunny, so we'll see more sunshine around. Finally, some sunshine returning to the area, and temperatures getting back up into the middle to upper 60s. Hit 67 degrees in Lincoln, 67 in Beatrice, 67 in Seward. Winds tomorrow out of the north, shifting around to the southeast at 3 to 6 miles per hour. If you want to head out to the softball game tomorrow against the Hoosiers, not looking too bad with temperatures into the 60s. We'll see some clouds. We'll call it partly to mostly cloudy by this time out at the softball field, but not too bad of weather to go out for a May game. And this weekend, temperatures on Saturday not looking bad. Really, temperatures all weekend not looking bad. I think the best day of the weekend comes on Saturday, albeit it may be a little windy Saturday afternoon. Sunday, we are watching for Mother's Day a chance for some showers in the morning. As we head towards the afternoon, we'll see some breaks in the clouds and temperatures rebound back up to 77 degrees. I mentioned the chance for rain, and you can see that here on Stormcast. Maybe some thunderstorms and some stronger storms out towards the western part of the state Saturday night. You'll see these moving to the east and impacting us again during the morning hours, and I think as we head towards the afternoon, the rain should begin to taper off. After that, we see heat beginning to build in. 90 degrees for a high on Monday, warm and humid. Also turns windy for Monday as well. 88 degrees for a high temperature on Tuesday, 90 on Wednesday. Looks very July-like temperature-wise. Humidity maybe not to July levels, but since we've not had a lot of humid air just yet, I think you'll notice that. And then a chance for some isolated showers and thunderstorms almost daily, going from about Wednesday all the way through next Saturday.
All right, thank you very much, John. Now to some more national news. The leaked draft opinion that could overturn Roe v. Wade has people asking about how abortion bans would be enforced nationwide.
Since 2000, the use of abortion pills has risen. That's when the FDA approved the main drug used in these abortions, mifepristone. According to a 2020 report, over half of that year's abortions were done with abortion pills. The abortions can be done at home, and the pills are widely accessible. In fact, you can actually get them through the mail.
If abortion is banned in Nebraska, it's unclear if these pills would become illegal or how a pill ban would even be enforced. And in Wisconsin, the threat of an abortion ban is pushing many clinics to get ready for a potential surge in out-of-state patients and protesters.
Mary Jo Ola reports.
If Roe v. Wade is tossed out, Wisconsin state law would outlaw almost all abortions. Pregnant Wisconsinites may travel to clinics in states like Minnesota and Illinois, where abortion services are more available. Lori Casey and her team are preparing for a surge in out-of-state patients.
We have to make sure that we have adequate staffing, that our doctors are available.
Casey is the executive director of We Health Clinic PA in Duluth, Minnesota, which provides abortion services among other health care.
If Minnesota is going to be a targeted state where abortion care is accessible, there could be more protesters traveling from out of state. And so we want to talk about beefing up our security. Also, just financially, it's going to cost us more to provide services.
In 2020, 99% of abortions in Wisconsin were among residents. Data from neighboring states shows Wisconsinites are getting abortions elsewhere. In 2020, there were 531 in Illinois. In Minnesota, that number was 548.
This is an eventuality that we've been preparing for years.
The Chief Strategy and Operations Officer for Planned Parenthood of Illinois says the number of out-of-state patients seeking abortions increased by 30% over the past several months.
Everything that you can think about that you would need to expand our ability to provide more access and more care internally, we are doing that.
Let's take a look at Wall Street now. Unfortunately, the number is crashing big today. The Dow falling over 1,000 points. NASDAQ also down 647. Here are your numbers. You're watching Channel 8, Nebraska's trusted news source.
Tonight, demonstrations
From southeast to northwest as we're on the north side of low pressure. Some moderate rain falling across portions of southern Seward County and Saline County at this time, also down towards Jefferson County. And we'll keep spotty showers, or at least some scattered showers in the forecast, probably up until midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, temperatures holding pretty steady, mainly in the low 50s. Finally, some sunshine returns, not for this evening, but more so for late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening.
Hey, we'll take it on a Friday.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, John. And thank you all for joining us.
World News is coming up next right here on Channel 8. And then we'll see you back here at 6 o'clock. Have a good evening.
With the Channel 8 Eyewitness News mobile app, you'll be the first to know. Get alerts about breaking news and weather, all in the palm of your hand.
DQ is taking your taste buds for a ride with the new Signature Stack Burger menu, featuring 5 mouth-wowing cheeseburgers. Like, try the new DQ Signature Stack Burger menu today. DQ, happy tastes good.
Closed caption.